All right, guys, the right-wing pundits are at it again. So this is in Mediaite. Charlie Kirk wants church and state mixed together. Wrongly declares our founding fathers believed in that. Okay, so let's see what he says.
Well, it's so sick because South American and Central American countries are actually very religious and very Catholic. So they're going into religious countries with almost missionary fervor to go and try to make these countries less religious. And again, there is no separation of church and state. It's a fabrication. It's a fiction. It's not in the Constitution. It's made up by secular humanists. It's derived from a single letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptist Convention. Of course, we should have church and state mixed together. Our founding fathers believed in that. We can go through the details of that. They established literally a church in Congress. Anyway.
By the way, I don't know if you can see this here. It says, email Charlie, freedom@charliekirk.com. freedom@charliekirk.com. You might want to change that to theocracy@charliekirk.com. Theocracy. I don't know how, and by the way, he's said a number of times, I think even in conversation with me when I debated him, that he views himself as more of a libertarian-leaning conservative. That's not libertarianism. That's not libertarianism at all. That's theocracy. So, and by the way, he's totally factually wrong about the founders and what they intended and the meaning of the words on the page. The Establishment Clause. In the United States law, the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, together with the amendment's Free Exercise Clause, form the Constitution's right of freedom of religion. The relevant constitutional text is, quote, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That's the wording. So here's what that means. If you want to be religious, you're an individual private person. You're an American citizen. You want to be religious? You have every right to be religious. You could be however religious or non-religious as you want. That's the freedom of religion. But the other portion of it is, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. In other words, the government will not enforce a religion on people. The government will not take a position on the issue of religion. There will be no state religion. That's what that is. So, in other words, the government needs to remain rigidly neutral on issues of religion. And by the way, I think they nailed it. I think they got it exactly right. Because you don't want a situation where you have like a secular government, but enforced secularism on the population, where it's like, not only is our government not religious, we don't want you, the people, to be religious either, and we will make sure you're not. Right? So, like a somewhat China-like situation. That's not it. That's not the way to go. By the same token, it is not the way to go to have the government say, we have a government religion here, we all believe in X, and the people now, you all need to believe in X. You all need to abide by our interpretation of our religion that we have officially in our government. That would be the polar opposite extreme, which is terrible. They struck the perfect balance. You, the citizens, can do whatever the hell you want to do. Believe whatever you want to believe. Practice whatever you want to practice, as long as you're not taking away other people's rights. Totally fine. But us, the government, we are going to be secular. We are going to be neutral on issues of religion. That's what the founders believed. That's what the country was built on. And that's something, by the way, which just recently they took a sledgehammer to it in the Supreme Court, destroying the Lemon Test and making it so that, a high school public coach is allowed to pray with their people at the end of the game at the 50-yard line. So now we're going right back into, official government-sanctioned religious prayer. No, can't have that. Can't have that. But look, so he's wrong on the facts of it, but beyond that, why would you want that, Charlie? Why would you want that? Why would you want the government to be intertwined with religion, especially because there are over 4,000 religions? God knows how many different variations of Christianity there are. How the hell is the U.S. government gonna take a position to represent a specific variation or faction of Christianity and then sort of enforce that on other people? I mean, you do not want that. You do not want religion codified into law. Because that, by the way, again, is the polar opposite of freedom. Mr. Freedom at charliekirk.com or whatever your email is. Guys, and here's the important part and why we're talking about this. Now, the floodgates are opening. The floodgates opened with the Roe versus Wade decision, right? And now they're saying, how far can we take this? How far can we go? Can we go to what our actual ideal is, which is a theocratic government. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get to that end game. So that would mean, not only abortion being overturned, which it was, Roe versus Wade being overturned, but also gay marriage has got to go. Right to sodomy's got to go. Right to contraception has got to go. So they're looking at this and going, yummy in my tummy, how far can we take this? And Charlie Kirk says, oh, no, they're doing it exactly right. When again, 5 minutes ago, he was the freedom guy. Now all of a sudden, all these things are on the table. No more right to an abortion, no more right to contraception, no more right to sodomy, no more right to gay marriage. Honestly, by the same token, would be no more right to interracial marriage if they were being consistent in their logic with the cases that come up. So now Mr. Freedom Man is the opposite. So it's astonishing. It's astonishing that he would say this and that he would get the facts that wrong, but there you have it. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.